country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Mavericks stuck in neutral since the head-scratching trade of Luka Doncic in February. Luka, of course, an NBA star in his prime. He went to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, who's missed 30 of 44 regular season games since the deal. The Mavs now in the market for a new GM. They fired the man behind the trade, general manager Nico Harrison, ESPN NBA analyst Chiney Ogwumike.
This has been the most catastrophic, probably, series of unfortunate events as it pertains to someone's decision-making. And I know that there are some circumstances out of his control. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, their availability. But still, you're supposed to go out there and give your team a better shot by constructing a roster that works. Seeing just a number of them not doing as well as they should have been to start the year, this makes sense.
Assistant GMs Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi will lead Dallas's basketball operations on an interim basis. Right knee soreness will sideline 76ers center Joel Embiid tonight against the Celtics. NFL, Jaguars top receiver cornerback Travis Hunter out the rest of the season following surgery to repair the LCL in his right knee. He's expected to return to full football activities within 6 months.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, I'll tell you why Kevin Stefanski, still rolling with Dylan Gabriel, isn't the right move for the Browns' future. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon, about 15 minutes. Sean Salsbury in hour 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
In today's episode of As the LSU Football World Turns, Brian Kelly is suing LSU for $54 million. This thing, just when you think it's going to quiet down, the firestorm just kicks up again. It's like a new gust of wind carrying the wildfire to blaze a new field. It's really uncanny and unlike anything I can remember in my time covering LSU. I know a lot of people have said that, but it's true. I mean, this is unprecedented. When you went to bed on Monday night, you woke up Tuesday morning. What you missed was that apparently on Monday, Brian Kelly's representatives and LSU representatives had a conversation whereby LSU's representatives floated the idea of terminating Brian Kelly for cause, at which point Brian Kelly's representatives drafted a lawsuit for $54 million, the full amount of Brian Kelly's buyout, which was filed in the 19th Judicial. Now, today is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans, of course. So courts are closed, and so a lot of people had trouble getting their hands on that lawsuit. There's some speculation as to whether or not the suit has actually been filed, if it was filed but not processed. There's a lot of different things there, but the bottom line is there's been a lawsuit written where Brian Kelly's legal team is suing the LSU Board of Supervisors for $54 million, the full amount of his buyout. So there's a lot to unpack and digest here, and I'll try to do it chronologically and filling in all the gaps to let you know how and why we are where we are and how it moves forward and what all the particulars are. So if you go back to Brian Kelly being fired on that Sunday, one of the things that LSU is contending here in this lawsuit, that Brian Kelly's, yes, LSU is contending this. So Brian Kelly's legal team filed the lawsuit, but it's based on conversations had with LSU's representatives. And one of the things that LSU's representatives told Brian Kelly's team is that Scott Woodward did not have the authority to fire Brian Kelly. Now, we have a report today at louisianasports.net. It's free. It's there at the top of the homepage if you want to go read it. That when you look through the bylaws of the LSU Board of Supervisors, for any employee that makes over $250,000, which, of course, Brian Kelly does or did, for Scott Woodward or the athletic director to fire that employee, there would have to be board approval. And Scott Woodward on that Sunday did not get board approval, so he actually lacked the authority to fire Brian Kelly. That's what is alleged here. And we cite at louisianasports.net the exact part of the bylaws, which is bylaw section 1, article 7, subsection L, subsection 3. So it's right there in black and white if you want to read it. So by the letter of the law, or by the letter of the bylaw, Scott Woodward did not have the autonomy or the authority to fire Brian Kelly without board approval. Now, guess is the board is just there as a ceremonial body that rubber stamps everything that is done. But in this instance, sure, legally, by the letter of the bylaw, Scott Woodward would have needed board approval. So that gives LSU now the cover to go to Brian Kelly and say, we actually never really fired you because he didn't have the autonomy to do it. And so you were never really fired. We kept paying you. And so now we're thinking about firing you for cause because you have to be notified within 7 days of the event that you're being terminated for cause. The next obvious question everyone asks is, okay, well, what is the cause? And on that Monday after Brian Kelly was fired, I sat here in this chair and I told you two things. Number one, that there had been an offer. Matter of fact, I got it on my phone. I'll play it for you. I don't mind saying that there have been whispers of maybe attempting to exercise the for-cause component of Brian Kelly's contract, which would nullify the buyout. I don't believe that would happen, but maybe that could be used as leverage to get him to negotiate a lesser number. Okay, so that was me on this show on that Monday. Told you that they had talked about exercising the for-cause clause. Didn't think they'd do it. Think it was just leverage. I'll get back to that in a second. This was the other thing I told you because yesterday you saw the advocate talk about the settlement that was negotiated. I told you Brian Kelly didn't agree to a lesser number. I mean, here you go. Play this one for you. Would Brian Kelly accept a lesser... Oops, I hit the wrong button on my phone. Sorry. That's what happens when you don't pull the audio and you're playing it from your phone. Here you go. For his contract. I'm an idiot. A settlement. Would Brian Kelly accept a lesser amount for his contract? And that was presented, as I'm told, to Brian Kelly and his agent on Sunday. A lump sum settlement of his deal. Would you take a lump sum now, a lesser amount lump sum? And he declined. Okay. So that was the Monday after Brian Kelly was terminated, let go, or all that sort of, term it whatever you want now. I sat here and I told you he was offered a lump sum. He said no. We found out the numbers yesterday from the advocate and also told you that they were considering the for cause. So this isn't retroactive. These are things I told you on this show the Monday after Brian Kelly was fired. Okay. So two things that I would let you know following up on that. Number one is I was able to find out today LSU's counter, or Brian Kelly's counter. So the way that went down with the negotiation, LSU offered Brian Kelly $25 million. The Advocates reported this, by the way. LSU offered Brian Kelly $25 million. He declined. Kelly's representatives countered at $43 million. LSU declined and countered at $30 million. Brian Kelly declined. So they are far apart. Brian Kelly is open to a settlement. They are not close on that number, which has led us now to where we are. So the next question everyone's going to ask is, okay, well, what did he do that would justify the for-cause clause of the contract? I have been told three things. Now, two of them are personal, and I am not going to say those on air until they become part of the public record. Unless and until they become part of the public record, because in my opinion, it's unfounded, and at this point would be nothing more than rumor mongering. I'm not going to do it. But a lot of you have talked about it. You know what a lot of the rumors that have spread. At least one of them. The other one I don't think you know. The one that is very public that I've been told, that I don't mind sharing because it has been very public, has been the alleged mishandling of the Greg Brooks situation. There's a very real question that comes to mind now and to light, which is to say, that was 2 years ago. Could you fire someone for cause retroactively 2 years ago? There might be some legalese that they could go through in different ways they can manipulate lines of law and letters of the law. I don't know all that. But what I do know is LSU has not formally fired Brian Kelly. Scott Woodward apparently did not have the authority to do so. They're continuing to pay Brian Kelly. On Monday, the two sides were having conversations. LSU clearly floated, or LSU representative floated the idea of a for-cause firing. That spawned the action to file the lawsuit for $54 million. Now, there's a couple of other things that are interesting. Even if Brian Kelly wins that lawsuit, let's say hypothetically that lawsuit goes to trial and Brian Kelly wins a $54 million judgment against the Board of Supervisors, which is a representative of the state. For Brian Kelly to get that money, as I understand it through many conversations I had today with legislators, members of the Appropriations Committee, members of the Board of Regents. I spent from about 7:45 this morning until 1:30 this afternoon doing nothing but this story. And I had a lot of conversations. What would likely happen is Brian Kelly would have to go through appropriations, meaning he would have to find a legislator who would put his $54 million into an appropriations bill. He would have to pass the Appropriations Committee, pass the House, pass the Senate, go to the governor's desk. The governor would have to sign off on it, and the governor has line item veto power in the appropriations bill. So basically, Jeff Landry would have to say, okay, we'll pay you $54 million. So bottom line, Ice Cube's chance in hell he ever sees a dollar of that judgment from the state of Louisiana. And there are tens of millions of dollars in unpaid judgments against the state that have yet to go through appropriations. So that's not going to be a realistic path for Brian Kelly. So what are we doing? I'm going to give you my opinion. Okay? This is my opinion rooted in a lot of information of what's happened, talking to a lot of the particulars. Okay? And you can choose to believe that I'm talking to particulars or not. At this point, if you don't get it, that's on you, not me. You make up your mind. I think LSU floated the idea for cause for the exact reason I told you the Monday after Kelly was initially fired. They're trying to strong-arm Brian Kelly into negotiating a lesser number so as not to go through the very public airing of laundry. Because if they start airing the for-cause reasons, there could be public embarrassment, a lot of other things. Thinking, okay, maybe they'll accept our terms. They'll be more willing to negotiate a lesser number. Brian Kelly said, okay, I'll play this game of chicken. Go ahead, air it. We're filing a $54 million lawsuit against you. You're giving me every single dollar I'm owed. I think you have both playing a game of leverage and a high-stakes game of chicken, and neither one's blinking right now. And they're doing this in the public, which continues to reflect negatively on LSU, LSU athletics, Brian Kelly, Scott Woodward, the board, everybody. I think Jeff Landry. Nobody comes through this looking good. Nobody. And my concern, as I'm sure it is for many of you, is that this is going to negatively affect the coaching search. Now, I have had conversations with folks at LSU, very closely associated with the coaching search. And they assure me that in conversations with agents and the people they're targeting and talking to, that the concern isn't there. And that they knew that this was a possibility, and so they were in front of it and started communicating that in advance to their potential targets. Okay, you can have as much open communication as you want, but ultimately, you're going to be sitting down at a table with an agent trying to negotiate a contract with that agent's client, and you're going to come to this point, and they're going to say, why in the world will we believe this contract is worth the paper it's written on when you just fired that coach and you wouldn't pay him his buyout? It's the thing I told you the day Brian Kelly was fired. The world is watching, and how you handle Brian Kelly's buyout is going to be a reflection on you and your ability to sign future deals. And I get it. I hate the contract, sucks, all that sort of stuff. You sign the man to the contract. You owe that man that money. And everybody's watching how you handle this. And it also goes back to the point we've made over and over again. LSU is not a poverty program, but it is not oil money rich. Texas A&M could have stroked that check for Jimbo Fisher 100 times over and never batted an eye. LSU, $54 million for Brian Kelly. We've got the governor involved. We've got board members involved. We got $54 million lawsuits. We've got for-cause claims. I mean, it's all to pinch pennies and to save money, because LSU is not the type of program that can easily and readily afford to stroke a $54 million check to make for a coach not to work. It's why this is where it is. And my concern is that it will affect LSU's ability to hire the next coach. Now, look, there's a batch of coaches in this pool that will take this job no matter what. Frank Wilson will take this job no matter what. Kelvin Shepard, he'll come one day. He's going to take this job no matter what. John Summerall may have options, and he may not take this job no matter what because he's got options. But you have your heart set on Lane Kiffin? You want to go land one of the big fish? They may look at this and go, not so sure I like that. And that could negatively affect your ability to hire the next coach. So this is far from over. I don't think this Brian Kelly lawsuit, buyout, all this, I don't think this fully goes into the shadows until LSU hires a new coach. I think it's also very clear now that there was a horribly erroneous report that the buyout had been finalized. Another report that someone had committed to pay the lion's share of it. Wrong. Look for good information. Anyway. Another ugly day with all this stuff. Can't come to an end soon enough. Pay that man his money and get on with it. Pay that man his money. Get on with it. Hire a new coach and move this program forward. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. I could use one right now. Of course, LSU back at home. Tigers wear white at home. That's why Bud Light this year hat tipped to the LSU tradition with the white can and aluminum bottle. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, it is After Further Review. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the future of the LSU football program. I'm a little late here, but Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, for his recruiting segment. That's next. Stick around.
After Further Review.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. It's Glow Resources. Love telling you about Glow Resources. Awesome people, man. Jareth Nakan and his team over there, they've built a big, giant business, one of the top 100 privately owned companies in the greater Baton Rouge area in the Baton Rouge Business Report. Man, you understand the operation they run, and you understand it because they are all over the place. And I love that home base is still here. Despite the fact that they literally have international clients, home base is still right here. The corporate headquarters are on Perkins, right near Pennington, and they serve Baton Rouge and New Orleans primarily. But they got offices all over. Orlando, Miami, Houston, everywhere. And they serve businesses all over the world. So no matter what your business is and no matter what job you're looking to fill, if you need the right people, Glow Resources can help. So check them out online. Start right there at GLO. GLOResources.com. GLOResources.com. Complete employer solutions.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Always appreciate Shea Dixon from On3, the Bengal Tiger, jumping aboard, talk a little Cruton. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, Matt. How are you?
Busy in a weird time around LSU football. Hey, one of the things since Brian Kelly was fired that kind of was a feather in the cap was that nobody opted out and there weren't any decommitments. Well, now that's changed. DeAnthony Lafayette has decommitted from LSU and is now committed to Miami. So let's walk through that and what happened there.
This is a kid, Matt, who committed to LSU in July, I believe it was, and he had, coming out of Lake Nona High in Orlando, was someone that Blake Baker, your DC, Kevin Peoples, the DN's edge rushers coach, were both high on through the offseason, kind of before he even boomed a little bit ahead of his senior year. They were one of the offers that were notable in the SEC. Others came from there afterwards, but a guy they felt good about as kind of a sleeper in this class. I mean, look, he's not the biggest guy, 6'1.5", maybe 230, but is a pretty productive edge rusher. And this is a case in point, Matt, I think, of just the reality you're living in right now. It's November 11th. Yeah, God, I cannot believe it's only November 11th. But in this case, I'm gonna say that's late in the season here. You've got until December 3rd to signing day. there's so many unknowns with the timeline of this hire. And Verge Osbury talked to you about this, about the timeline, what all it would mean. And he said, at least, I'm paraphrasing here, if I remember it correctly, Matt, correct me, that by that early signing period, they at least would like to know the direction they're going. I take that to mean a candidate or two in mind. They might be in the playoffs, but direction meaning with this timeline, are you punting on the early signing day relative to we have a full staff in place? It got, a head coach got named after Christmas and we're really salvaging this class, or maybe even more importantly, the entire roster, and where you get into January with the transfer portal and the NFL draft declaration deadline being on the 15th and the portal ending on the 16th. So how do you kind of navigate that? And we've talked about it. Frank Wilson is interim head coach, all these current staff in place certainly helped stabilize it. But D'Anthony Lafayette, who came out and just said it, hey, look, I'm a few weeks out from signing. I don't know if Kevin Peoples will be there. I don't know if Blake Baker will be there. And I'm going a few states away from home to make this commitment. This isn't a Louisiana kid who's going to LSU regardless type of thing. So it wasn't a shock when a day later he commits to Miami. That's an in-state school. They're stable under Mario Cristobal right now. Florida's going through a coaching change. FSU might be right behind them. So I think he's sort of a good case study of this is expected, right? Like, yeah, you've had 17 commits. You're down to 16 now. Most of them are Louisiana kids, some border state kids. But when you get into a few states away now and the coaches he has connections with cannot tell him whether or not they'll still be here when he signs in December and then enrolls in January, that's a lot to ask for a kid and family, right? So not a shock that Miami kind of kept in contact with him and said, you've got the green light, and he went ahead and made the decision. But again, like, not really that nefarious. He came out and said, thanks to all the LSU fans, like, I really appreciate this opportunity, but I've got to go somewhere where, everything's sort of already in place for me and not have to sign on the dotted line and wonder who coaches me later.
The flip side of it, Shea, you sort of alluded to, it's not like a Louisiana kid who wants to go to LSU. On Monday, Lamar Brown tweeted, I don't want to read too much into this, but he tweeted a photo of himself in the LSU uniform, one of his recruiting pictures with no text, no context, just the photo there. I think, in a way, we're all meant to interpret that as his pledging of allegiance to the LSU program. What, if anything, should we make of the Lamar Brown tweet?
Yeah, I speak fluent 17-year-old social media, and I think that it's just it tells us I'm still committed. Rally around me here in mentions, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean too much to me, nor should it anyone else. I think most people will say, hey, as long as he hasn't decommitted yet, and as long as he hasn't made visits to other colleges yet, you feel like you're in an okay spot here going into the final weeks, or at least about as good as one of a spot as you could hope to be in, which is where they're at. And Lamar Brown is similar to a lot of these guys that now a handful have made visits or are setting up visits, whatever point they might be at. But Brown, let's not skip over this. He's the number one player in the country. Like, I think it's easy for us as Baton Rouge folks to say the kid from U High who's always had an offer since he stepped foot on the Cubs football field, kind of gloss over that reality. He's not just your number one athlete or D lineman, number one player. So everyone's out there trying to get him flipped, notably A&M, Miami, schools that had been in the mix prior to committing to LSU, but he hasn't budged. And I think if you're LSU fans, that's kind of what you want to see is, all right, we expect some decommitments, but can we hold on to the bulk of them? And can you really hold on to these 5 stars that are probably pretty early impact guys in the defensive line?
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Get him at Shea Dixon. Okay, Shea, so D'Anthony Lafayette out. Are there other members of this class right now that are committed that we should be keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I'll give you the 2 that are kind of most notable, at least from the last time that we spoke, Matt. One, Bryson Cooley, from Mississippi. Steve Wiltfong kind of runs things on the rival side here. Put in his flip pick from Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Bama. All of these schools had been on him. He's been committed to LSU, but it's much like D'Anthony Lafayette, except I can just change the position, right? He doesn't know if Brad Davis is going to be here. They don't have an offensive coordinator in place. He doesn't know who the next head coach is. And look, they don't have a winning record, but Mississippi State and Levy and that staff are in place. There's no expectation that changes in the offseason. So it won't be a surprise if he ends up in Mississippi State's class. And you still have a handful of offensive linemen committed, but that brings you to the other one. Your highest rank offensive lineman right now on the commit list is Bryson Martinez from right here in East Ascension. And he already made a visit to Texas and then made another kind of scheduled official visit. So very much exploring his options. Texas is a school that hasn't let up there, but still remains committed. But it's one of those things, Matt, like as we get closer to December 3rd, how many of these guys, even if local, even if, hey, I'm committed to LSU, even beyond just who the current head coach is, he doesn't know who the next offensive line coach is if it's not Brad Davis. He doesn't know the head coach. He doesn't know the staff. And it brings me back to where we started. Do we know those answers by the early signing period, or is it a risk they run to where either you're signing them then, they flip elsewhere, or they've told you, I'm willing to wait until February to sign, but I would at least need to know kind of the feel for things over the coming weeks. And then you toss in how many of these guys, a bulk of them, are early enrollees. They're supposed to be on campus in January before any playoffs and all of that wrap up. Those guys are trying to move in. So more often than not, they're wanting to sign in this early signing period. And that's a big reason why nobody pays attention to February signing day anymore. It's a relic of the past at this point. And unless you're in a coaching situation like this, where maybe you have to wait on guys or convince them to wait instead of just outright flipping, that this December 3rd to 5th is the one that everyone's paying attention to.
Shea, is Martinez an early enrollee?
He is. So he's most everyone we talked about, Catholic High doesn't do it. There's a number of schools that don't do it. And I've kind of noticed, and I've talked to the national guys, Matt, about this, is that unless your school just doesn't allow it, most guys who are already committed, knowing they're going off to college, will have lined it up with their school and the guidance counselor in LSU to say, how many courses do I need to take in the summer and then fall of my senior year, just to ensure, hey, look, I can skip my spring semester and go right to college.
Shea, before you go, last thing, 2 home games to go. What are we keeping an eye on here for these next 2 home games, and what's sort of on the docket here?
Yeah, I was feeling that out with some people. It's getting all these committed guys in and then getting your Louisiana and border state kids for next year in, just to put them around the program. Let them experience Tiger Stadium, let them get to know some of the personnel staffers. And look, some of these assistants may be here. So if they just keep recruiting as it's been, then you don't want to skip a weekend. So given kind of where the program is, Matt, and it's an 11 a.m. game, and it's a non-conference game, it's not. If you had a head coach and 25 commits, you're not getting a wave of recruits in for those games. Right. So I think they did a lot of the heavy lifting before, and now it's about just holding on tight.
He's Shea Dixon, on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Man, it's a great time with coaching search and, of course, trying to put this roster together. Shea, at the risk of going a little long, I mean, when you look at this with the December signing period and the January portal period, if they don't have a roster in place or a coach in place, how do they put a roster together?
I think the biggest thing for me is you would have to know something by the end of December. And without going too long-winded in it, you can't, in a great world, right? Like we could make the hire and the hire is this person, but we're going to only tell the recruits, we're in the team, it'll never leak out, right? Like that never happens.
Right.
So anyone hoping that route is one to take is not. Everyone's going to be in the dark until it's named and leaks or whatever. But I think you just got to hope that in a world, let's envision it, if Frank is still on staff and he's able to give some assurances to families and you sort of navigate it through that and you get the bulk of them signed and you lean on them just wanting to be here no matter what, which is a built-in benefit of Louisiana by and large, that's how you get through it. And you sort of hope that even in this NIL world, that maybe that gives you a little extra budge, knowing, hey, look, everything's in place for you. You'll figure out things with this new staff when it comes. And I think a lot of these guys, just knowing their backs are against the wall with enrolling early, you're going to have a little bit of blind faith, which, again, we could wash all this away if they're announcing a hire at the end of this month, right? But I just don't know at this point. I don't know anything. Who are they targeting and when is that person coming? And if I don't have those answers, the recruits certainly are probably in that same boat.
Yeah. Shea, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know what I owe you for getting to go on at 3:15 through all this, but send the check, and the check will be in the mail for you, man.
I think it works the other way, typically, man. We appreciate it greatly. Thank you, Shea.
You got it, man.
All right, buddy. We appreciate it. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, they do shutters too. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. It's energy-efficient replacement windows. Beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do everything. They do it better than anyone. I tell you every single day with Relief Windows. Oh, you can go get quotes, and if you want to do that and you're looking for who's going to give you the cheapest price, that's not going to be Relief Windows. It never will be. They're never going to be the cheapest. They sell a premium product. They offer a true lifetime transferable warranty. They have measure techs, install crews, an actual service department, which means they can get to you quicker and more effectively and efficiently. You want the best possible experience with the best product and the best people? Well, there's only one choice. It's Relief Windows. So give them a shout today. Remember what your mama told you when you were young. You get what you pay for. At Relief Windows, they'll always be the best. ReliefWindows.com, ReliefWindows.com. Okay, quick break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Tiger Hoops got a win last night. We'll touch on that. Sean Salsbury in hour 3. And have you seen the new odds for the LSU football coach? I'm not sure I believe it, but you have got to see where Nick Saban now stands in the odds to be the next LSU coach. We're going to get to that at the start of hour 2. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. You know, I tell you every day that if you want to feel your best, Goodwood can help. Maybe it's ED treatments. Maybe it's hormone replacement therapy. But the other thing I want you to know is that over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they have a variety of non-pharmaceutical options, injectable medications that can help you with so many ailments. Maybe it's your gut health. Maybe you're dealing with IBS, Crohn's, things like that. Do you know what options are out there for you that are non-pharmaceutical? Goodwood's got tons of them. Maybe you've got muscle or tissue issues, injuries that you've struggled with. They have options at Goodwood. I've been using a treatment for my lower back that has brought me relief that I have not had for as long as I can remember. 2025, y'all. World's amazing. Explore it. YourGoodwood.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun. Over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes with a basket.
All right, we're rolling along here in hour number one. Greg Sankey today was talking a little bit about the college football playoff, and the SEC is in a really good spot. But remember, the SEC and the Big Ten have kind of been wrangling about the future of the college football playoff format and the number of automatic qualifiers from each. They just want dramatically different formats and how they go about doing it, whether you're going to have automatic qualifiers or an opportunity for more at-large teams. Despite the fact that the SEC is having a really good year, Greg Sankey sort of reinforced his stance on the AQs.
I recognize reality. I think we had some pretty good ideas around 14, 16. There's obviously more ideas. I've been amazingly consistent since this move from 4 to something else started to say I'm not a fan of AQs, if you will. And in fact, we have no group of 5 representatives, I think, in the top 25, or maybe one was. That's problematic, and that's an indicator why you don't just jump on the AQ bandwagon, in my view. And that could help us in a particular, that could be problematic for us in a particular, not to have that assurance. But that's where we've been as a group for 6, 7 years now.
So, for example, a year ago, the SEC got just 3 teams in the playoff. AQs, if you had 5 AQs or 4 AQs, whatever that number would be, it would have been beneficial. This is a year where there's a lot of football still to be played over 3 weeks plus the conference championship weekend, but Texas A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt. I mean, you're looking at a half dozen teams in the Southeastern Conference that could potentially have a strong case to be made to be Texas to be in the college football playoff. And Sankey understands that his league's got a really good shot here in 2025.
We're in pretty good shape, yeah. A lot of football to play. You saw some close games today that may or may not have had an impact around the country. November's always an interesting month. Big game tonight here. Big game here next week. We got a few big games. We got Texas and Georgia. So, yeah, we're in good shape. Pretty good teams, too. We're not in good shape because I say so. We're in good shape because we got pretty good teams.
So it's interesting just year 1 to year 2 in the 12-team playoff to show the disparity from the conference where, hey, look, in 3 weeks, you see a lot of upsets. I mean, Vanderbilt could lose to Tennessee. Texas could certainly lose this weekend to Georgia. You could have these 2-loss teams have a third loss hung on them. You could end up with a team getting its second or third loss hung on it in the SEC championship game. There's a lot of things that could transpire. What if Texas A&M loses to Texas, still goes to Atlanta, and loses there? I'm not necessarily saying I think that's going to happen, but there's a lot of football still to be played. But I agree with Greg Sankey. I don't want AQs. I mean, I'm a college football elitist. I don't need the G5 or G6 to have an automatic berth. I don't think anybody should have an automatic berth. I think the 12 or hopefully 14 or 16 best teams should get in regardless. Just my opinion. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I do believe in a meritocracy. Earn your way into the field. And nothing should be handed someone just because of the league you play in. So they'll get to making those decisions sooner than later for next year's format, but hopefully it's 14, maybe 16. I would love to see 16, but crawl before you walk. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Y'all, we're approaching the end of the year. Of course, great time to go buy a new vehicle when you got to move inventory, and they always have great deals. The Volkswagen deal days are going on right now at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. How about 0% on 2025 Taos S for APR for 60 months or receive $2,000 customer bonus. There's also 2025 Atlas for 0.9% APR for 60 months. There's always great deals going on over at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, where you could shop every vehicle, new and certified pre-owned. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, going to move quickly here. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Taylon Green and 2 starting offensive linemen will return for the Hogs against LSU on Saturday. They were injured against Mississippi State. Of course, Taylon Green, the quarterback, and then right tackle Marion Harris and center Caden Kittler both returned to practice during the open week. They'll be good to go against the Tigers.
The Florida Gators.
Florida is sticking with DJ Lagway against Ole Miss. Lagway was benched in the loss to Kentucky this past weekend, 38-7 in Lexington. My goodness, how disgusting was that? Lagway was just 11-19 for 83 yards with a touchdown and 3 interceptions against the Wildcats, but it will be Lagway against Ole Miss.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Blake Shapen left Mississippi State's loss to Georgia in the third quarter after taking a big hit. Jeff Lebby said Shapen didn't do anything Monday. The plan was to evaluate him as the week progresses. Wednesday will be when we'll get the availability report. When Shapen was out, freshman QB Kamario Taylor replaced him.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Mark Stoops has confirmed a pair of season-ending injuries. Free safety Jordan Lovett, outside linebacker Sam Green, both injured against Florida, both done for the year. Both will require surgery. Specific injuries, however, were not disclosed.
The Texas Longhorns.
And 2027 linebacker Taven Epps has decommitted from Texas. 6'4", 220, originally chose the Longhorns over USC, UCLA back in April. He's a 4-star, top 100 player nationally, the 12th best edge out of California. He was the first commit for the 2027 class. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Back tailgating this weekend, y'all. You need your generators, little portable generators for your tailgate. I would say fans, but now it'd be more like heaters, especially with the weather like it was this morning. They got all that over at Sunshine. And, of course, tractors, gators, zero-turn mowers. They got it all at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back and wrap up hour number 1. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text the show, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. We'll continue to wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
How about this Christmas giving your family something that everyone can enjoy for years to come? How about you put in a pool or an outdoor kitchen? Duplessis Builders, they can make either happen, and it's more affordable than you think. Now, with Duplessis Builders, they can absolutely build your dream resort-style custom pool or an outdoor kitchen. I mean, go look at their Instagram, go look at their website. You'll see examples of their work. I mean, they do some palatial jobs. They also have a template on the website for both pools and outdoor kitchens whereby you can pick from models they've already had designed. So, for example, go to duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Right there on the homepage where it says pick your pool, hit that. There's 11 different pool designs already made where you can choose whatever finishes you want, starting as low as $49K. And they have financing available. duplessisbuilders.net.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Duplessis Builders Pool.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Open up a throttle and stir a little dust. Just look at her face.
Nice pass by Reese, gets it to Carter, ahead to Miller, off to Nwoko, and he'll slam it down. Textbook way to beat the full court pressure at 69-45 Tiger.
Chris Blair, LSU Sports Radio Network. Tigers beat UNO 93-58 Monday night at the Maravich Center. Michael Nwoko had 22. Marquel Sutton, Pablo Tamba each added double-doubles. LSU blows out UNO 93-58. The line in that was 19.5. We were talking about it yesterday. That was one where, when Jimmy was here last week during the opener against Tarleton State, the line was 15.5, and it was on Otter Locks. He said, take LSU because the odds makers probably haven't yet caught up to just how talented this LSU team is. I'm not saying that you should in any way be impressed by LSU blowing out Tarleton State or UNO, but sometimes there is value in betting teams early in the season because as the sample size grows, you learn more about the team, and so the odds makers catch up. So there's value early, and I'd kind of wondered after LSU beat Tarleton State by 30 if there was an opportunity, if maybe that it adjusted. That line did go, where it's 15.5 against Tarleton State, 19.5 against UNO, and LSU won by 30 again, so 35. So 2 blowout wins, and you're seeing all the newcomers out there doing work for LSU. I look, candidly, I was watching Monday Night Football last night and working, not necessarily locked into this game. It was on, but I wasn't watching every minute of it. I like the minutes distribution that you're seeing a lot of guys get involved. Not hard to imagine though, considering you're blowing out a bad team. But you had 4 guys off the bench play double-digit minutes. I mean, Robert Miller played 20 minutes. Jalen Reed and Jalen Reese each had 17 minutes. Rashad King 15. PJ Carter at 10 off the bench. So, I mean, everybody played. Even Ron Zipper, Jaden Bobbitt, and Mozzie Mosley all had 2 minutes. So they all got out there. But, you're defining roles and you're getting out there and learning how to play together. I'm just going to continue to say with respect to this team, I'm not going to be fooled after what we saw last year. last year LSU got off to an 11-2 start in the pre-conference. They had some nice wins. They beat Kansas State in Manhattan. They went down to Florida and beat UCF in triple overtime. I mean, they had some blowout wins against lesser teams, and then they got in the conference and they face-planted. They were just completely outmatched in the best league in America. So, there are going to be some interesting challenges ahead. You got FIU, Alcorn State, Omaha, Drake. I mean, you'll run over these teams. You do have a game against 11th-ranked Texas Tech coming up in early December. You are going to play SMU as well. So there are some opportunities in the pre-conference coming where we'll learn a little bit more about this team. But January 3rd, I mean, you'll open up conference play against the Aggies on January 3rd. That's really when we'll start to know about it. Here was Matt McMahon, by the way, after the game against UNO.
I was really proud of our players and their preparation. We had tremendous respect for Coach Hollowell and what he's building there at New Orleans. Their win last week at TCU, they were fantastic. Up 21 with 7 minutes to go in the game, dominated the glass. And I thought our guys were really dialed into the plan of attack. I loved our unselfishness. We really wanted to cut down on the turnovers. Our first game, we either scored or turned it over. This game, 21 assists, only 7 turnovers. And then thought we had a great advantage of our physicality and size in the post. And I thought all of our front court guys were terrific.
Tigers get a win over UNO. They'll be back on the hardwood against FIU in 2 days. On Thursday, they'll play FIU there at the Maravich Center, 7 o'clock on the SEC Network Plus. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll knock out a break. LSU's odds for the next head coach. Where do you see this?
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center and Dr. Blake Williamson. It's not every day that what we do actually gets to change someone's life, but that's what Dr. Blake Williamson does every single day. He gives people the gift of sight. And obviously, we tell you every day that they're a full-service optical shop. It's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. You need your annual eye exam, they can help you. If you wear contacts or glasses and you need that prescription updated and filled, the Williamson Eye Center can help. But the thing that I love to stress so much is their refractive procedures. If it's LASIK, maybe you had LASIK years ago, PRK could be an option. Now, that's what Jay Kester had. Maybe it's the Evo ICL, the implantable contact lens. Maybe it's the custom lens replacement. That's what Jimmy Ott had done. No matter your age or refractive issue, Dr. Blake Williamson can help. Call 924-2020, 924-2020.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine quality.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Mavericks fans who've been chanting "Fire Nico" have gotten their wish. Dallas Fire general manager Nico Harrison today. He'd have a tumultuous last 9 months after his shocking trade of Luka Doncic to the Lakers for the oft-injured Anthony Davis and a 3-8 start to this NBA season as well. Assistant GMs Michael Finley, Matt Riccardi will lead Dallas's basketball operations department on an interim basis, and one likely name the team will target for its next GM is a familiar one, notes ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania.
Dennis Lindsay, he's a current executive in Detroit, formerly the head executive of the Utah Jazz, and he also was an advisor for the Mavericks during the 2023-2024 NBA Finals run season.
76ers center Joel Embiid, right knee soreness, out tonight against the Celtics. He has had several issues with his left knee over the years. Warriors set to welcome back guard Steph Curry tonight versus OKC. He's missed the last 3 games due to illness. NFL Jaguars wide receiver 1, cornerback Travis Hunter, underwent surgery to repair the LCL in his right knee. He will miss the rest of the season.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, I'll tell you why Kevin Stefanski, still rolling with Dylan Gabriel, isn't the right move for the Browns' future. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Sean Salsbury, 1 hour from right now. Got a lot I want to talk about with Sean. Of course, LSU made the quarterback switch. How do they manage that moving forward? And then what a day for Tyler Shuck over in Charlotte this past weekend. We'll get Sean's takeaway on that, all coming up 1 hour from right now. We have been careful to mention this. Or whenever we talk about this, to be careful with how we position it. I think Jimmy Ott's done a good job saying here that the odds makers are never more wrong on anything they do than when they put out coaching odds. And a lot of coaching odds, even though the odds are put out there by some of the offshore books and whatnot, are not actually available to be wagered upon. It's sort of just hypothetical odds to put out there. But what I got in my inbox today was jarring. Because it was an email from the folks at Bet Online with an update on the odds for each of the 8 power openings right now. And it's Auburn and LSU and Florida and Penn State and Arkansas and UCLA. It's Virginia Tech, the major openings that are open right now. And so naturally, I do the thing that you would all do. I just scroll immediately to LSU to see who's at the top, assuming it's going to be Lane Kiffin or Joe Brady, who had been the betting favorite the first time they put out these odds. You know, maybe some combination with other guys jumping up. Could it be Drinkwitz or Clark Lee, some of the other names that have been mentioned? And it was none of those guys. According to Bet Online, the coach with the best odds to be the LSU next head football coach is Nick Saban at plus 200. Nick Saban followed by Lane Kiffin, Joe Brady, Clark Lee, Dan Lanning, James Franklin, John Sumrall, Brent Key, Jimbo Fisher, Kenny Dillingham, Eli Drinkwitz, Marcus Freeman. I mean, not just on the list, at the top of the list. I know. You're rolling your eyes, you're throwing your hands in the air and saying, come on, Scone, that's never going to happen. I get it. Miss Terry doesn't want him to coach anymore. Nick wants to stay retired. I get it. There's the videos of him sitting in a recliner and Miss Terry telling him to get up so they could sing happy birthday to him. Looking like a decrepit old man. I get it. What do they know? It's not just like, hey, put him on the list just in case. So he's on there like, just in case, like take a flyer. He's at the top of the list. Like, it wasn't always that way. When the initial odds came out, Nick Saban was on the list, but he was way down the list. He was 75-1. Now he's 2-1. So what's happened? Oh, conversations have happened. I've told you that. And I don't think that's any great surprise. The way we talked about it last week was it would be surprising if people around LSU didn't talk to Nick Saban. Verge Osbury, LSU's athletic director, was on this show 1 week ago today and said that he talks to Nick Saban every 2 to 3 weeks. They have a standing conversation. But he thinks Nick is out of the game. Not happening. Said on this show, I drive to Tuscaloosa. I go pick him up right now. But doesn't think he's going to coach again. Okay. I'll also remind you that Verge Osbury and Jimmy Sexton have a great relationship as well. Long-standing, great relationship. Jimmy Sexton is Nick Saban's agent and also the agent for darn near everybody else. Every person I talk to close to this search, and I mean people on that committee that Verge Osbury named, and the types of people who will write checks to pay for whatever coach they hire. Everyone I talk to says, Nick ain't coming. Okay. I believe you. I still don't think it's going to happen. But you're going to show me plus 2-1? You can show me 2-1 odds? Nick Saban, the betting favorite to be LSU's next coach? You have my attention. Because what that tells me is there is at least enough interest where he is listening, and you might be able to find a guy who will make an impulsive decision and jump back in at some point. You keep pushing the right button, and eventually he may jump back in. The same way Nick Saban told that story on The Pivot when he's sitting on Skip Bertman's balcony with Jimmy Sexton, and Sexton says to him, what do you want to be? Do you want to be Bear Bryant or do you want to be Vince Lombardi? And Saban says without hesitation, I want to be Bear Bryant. And Sexton says, well, then what are you doing going to Miami? And he says, I win anyway. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. I might put it at like 5%. Learned long ago in this business, don't speak in absolutes. That's how you end up embarrassed. So I'm not sitting here telling you no shot, never going to happen, 0%. I ain't saying that. I'm not telling you it's likely. I'm not telling you it's probable. I'm just telling you when Nick Saban's name is at the top, not on the list, not just on the list as a courtesy at 75-1 where he was when this whole thing started. I'm talking at the top of the list. When his name is at the top of the list, you have my attention. Now, the rest of the list is interesting too, because the next guy on there is the one that I actually think is going to be LSU's primary target, and that's Lane Kiffin. That's based on conversations I've had and some things that are quite honestly just obvious. Lane Kiffin, after this year, is going to be the highest paid coach in football. There are reports that Ole Miss has a $13.5 million offer on the table for Lane Kiffin that he still hasn't signed. If he hasn't signed that offer to make him the richest coach in football to stay at Ole Miss, it tells you he's at least open to the possibility of leaving. And there's a lot of people in the mix, presumably, for Lane Kiffin. He's the betting favorite right now to get the job with Florida. He's the betting favorite right now to get the New York Giants job. He's second on the list to get the LSU job. So Lane Kiffin's going to be up for darn near every job that's open, and it makes a lot of sense that he would be because he's a guy right now whose stock is as high as it could ever possibly be. And he's going to have a decision to make. If he wants to stay at Ole Miss, stay in Oxford, or if he wants to go somewhere where he thinks he has a better chance of winning a championship, or if he thinks he wants to jump to the NFL. And the one that popped a day ago was when Brian Daboll was fired. Lane Kiffin, the odds came out, was the odds-on favorite to be the next coach of the Giants. That would make a lot of sense because it would reunite him with Jackson Dart. If you're the Giants, wouldn't that make a lot of sense? You have the investment in Dart as your franchise quarterback. Bring the coach in that he loves that developed him, who also has been an NFL coach in the past. Brandon Dart is Jackson's father, and he was on the Believe in Ole Miss podcast and talked about Lane Kiffin and the Giants.
As we were texting on our Kiffin Dart family text thread, because there was I think Boomer Esiason, it said something in the media today that maybe they should throw out a potential coaching applicant to Kiffin, and he kind of just sent it over with us like a smirk and just said it's too cold in New York for me. But it's just kind of funny. But we have weekly interactions with him and his family, and it's I think Jackson holds high regard. Kiffin is one of his most trusted allies, and I think he uses him for advice in a lot of different ways. And so there's constant communication between them, even today, and there's a lot of that between our families.
That line of communication is part of what would leave that door at least slightly or even slightly ajar if Kiffin were to want to get back into the NFL. Of course, his first head coaching job was in the NFL with the Raiders. That did not go well, as we all know. But that was with Jamarcus Russell. This would be with Jackson Dart, a guy he tutored. Remember also, Saban and Kiffin each has Jimmy Sexton as their agent. The third best odds are Joe Brady. That would be fascinating. By the way, Joe Brady's agent's Trace Armstrong, who's the same agent for Brian Kelly. And so they're going through this back and forth right now with Trace where, you want to worry. You want to talk about what this current situation with Brian Kelly and the buyout might negatively impact you. Okay, Brian Kelly's agent's Trace Armstrong. He did this deal with you, and now you're trying to renege on the buyout. You're going through this whole hoopla. You think he's going to be pumped to go sell your job to Joe Brady? I don't think so. Next on the list is Clark Lee. Now, Brady's interesting because conceivably, Brady's interesting because conceivably, if you have Joe Brady on the list and you can, because in the NFL, you can come to a verbal agreement and even announce it publicly, which would help you in your December and January signing periods. And then when the Buffalo season was over, Brady could come. So from that standpoint, it makes sense. But I still think Joe Brady's more likely to be an NFL head coach next year. Clark Lee is next on the list. His agent's Jimmy Sexton. Dan Lanning's next on the list. His agent is Jimmy Sexton as well. James Franklin is on the list, although I've heard no one at LSU mention James Franklin's name. John Summerall is next. His agent is Clint Dowdle. And I've told, by the way, Brent Key, also represented by Jimmy Sexton. And then Dillingham, Drinkwitz, Freeman, all represented by Clint Dowdle. And that's something you got to remember, how this game works. When you're talking to an agent, you're not just talking to one person. When you're talking to the agent, you're talking to a half dozen coaches, whoever that agent represents. So when you're talking to Clint Dowdle, you're talking to John Summerall, Kenny Dillingham, Eli Drinkwitz, Marcus Freeman. You're talking to all of them. When you're talking to Jimmy Sexton, you're talking to Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Clark Lee, Dan Lanning, Brent Key, talking to all of them, right? So that relationship with the agent matters. Verge Osbury has a great relationship with Jimmy Sexton, but if you think Jimmy Sexton's going to let Lane Kiffin leave Oxford for Baton Rouge without a gigantic buyout, you got another thing coming. But could Jimmy Sexton pry Nick Saban away from television to come back to Baton Rouge? Betting odds say yes. We shall see where it lands. The silly season. Remember what I always say. Let this be the tenet that guides you in these conversations. Say it with me. If you're in your car, say it out loud if it helps you. Believe nothing. Consider everything. Believe nothing. Consider everything. Even the possibility of 74-year-old Nick Saban coaching at LSU again. Unlikely as it may seem, consider everything. Okay. Quick break. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. It's Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. They'll come in, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. Love telling you about Parish Restoration. It's a great service, man. Jim Woodworth, by the way, happy Veterans Day to my buddy Jim Woodworth, Air Force veteran. He began his career in disaster relief post 9/11 in New York, helped with the recovery efforts there. Came down here, back down here with the BP oil spill 15 years ago, and now helps everyday folks like you and me and business owners clean and sanitize your space from mold and other harmful pathogens. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Okay, quick break. When we come back, I want to flip it from the next coach to the former coach. If you're just joining us, we did open the show today talking about Brian Kelly, the lawsuit against LSU. I filled in a lot of the particulars. But what I'd like to do next is explain a structure that could make sense for LSU and Brian Kelly to get out of this mess. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
Let's Rev, R-E-V. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. Doesn't matter, y'all. If it's for your home or for your office, more than 70,000 homeowners, business owners here in the southern part of our state trust Rev. I'm in that number. We're in that number here at Guarantee Media. Parish Construction and Roofing, we trust Rev as well for our high-speed internet. Remember, with Rev, amazing benefits. First of all, 90 years of local service. 90 years of local service. Also, so when you call their call center, you're getting someone local, a human that's local right here in our market. All over the market. Baton Rouge, Gonzales, Prairieville, Plaquemine, Denham, Springfield, Hammond, Ponchatoula, Covington, Mandeville, LaPlace, Reserve, Thibodaux, Houma, LaRose, Grand Isle, everywhere. And speeds up to 5 gigs and backed by an all-fiber network. It's Rev. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories,
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
My tractor sexy.
If it's happening in Louisiana sports, you'll find it at louisianasports.net. From the New Orleans Saints and LSU to SEC rivalries, recruiting buzz, coaching searches, and sports betting headlines, we've got the stories that matter. Check it out right now at louisianasports.net. Also, visit the Our Partners page over at louisianasports.net. Discover more from the local legends backing your favorite shows on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Sean Salsbury is with us at the top of hour number 3. The Saints have the day. Tuesday, of course, is an off day in the NFL. So, and Saints are in their bye week. So, really good opportunity for the Saints to kind of hit the pause button today, and a lot going on. Dominating the headlines right now is the lawsuit that Brian Kelly's attorneys filed on his behalf against the LSU Board of Supervisors for $54 million, the full value of Brian Kelly's buyout. We'll see where this all goes. I think my contention is you have both sides playing a high leverage game of chicken. LSU, after Kelly and Kelly's reps and LSU's reps couldn't reach an agreement on a settlement of the buyout, LSU was maybe dangling the possibility of a for-cause firing, maybe hoping that would re-engage the settlement conversations. Brian Kelly's representative was like, bleep that. Here's a $54 million lawsuit for the full value of it. Anyway, we'll see where that stops. But I do think it's best for both. It's best for both sides to reach an agreement so both can get on with their lives. LSU can go hire a coach, and Brian Kelly can do whatever he wants to do next. If he wants to coach again, he wants to go do TV, he just wants to go drink wine and play golf and enjoy the rest of his life. Whatever. Whatever it is. Okay. But it's best for both sides to come to an agreement so both can move on. The longer this drags out, the more detrimental it is for both. And, we know now where things stand, right? Brian Kelly is owed $54 million on the remainder of his contract. And if LSU pays him over the next 6 years, $800K a month for the next 6 years, if they agree to a negotiated settlement of that buyout lump sum, however it may look. We know also some of the numbers that have already been discussed. The Advocate got a hold of documents that disclosed LSU's initial offer to Brian Kelly was $25 million. He rejected it. Earlier today at LouisianaSports.net, we reported that Kelly's representatives countered LSU at $43 million, and then which LSU rejected, and then LSU countered back with $30 million, which Kelly rejected. And that's when the conversations stopped because they were still $13 million apart. LSU went up to 30, Kelly came down to 43. That's a giant gap, man. You're $13 million apart. It's hard. Like, clearly, Kelly showed he was willing to negotiate. I mean, he came from 54 to 43. He came $11 million off his buyout. He showed he's willing to negotiate. Like, that's $11 million is a significant hit. That's 20% of that buyout. I mean, he came down 20% off the number. He's serious. I don't think LSU's serious. But it also continues to underscore just how painful that is for this athletic department, its boosters, by extension, to cover this number. Anyway, I do think there is a way that LSU, if they approach this wisely, can negotiate a deal that makes sense for Brian Kelly and for LSU. And I can't take full credit for this because I was having a conversation earlier today with a buddy who's a sports agent, and he floated the idea, which makes a ton of sense, of waiving the offset value. So let me explain what I mean. Right now, Brian Kelly has a mitigation clause that would offset his buyout. So LSU owes him $54 million. Let's say Brian Kelly gets a job, if he wants to coach again or do TV or whatever money he makes from that contract would offset his buyout. So hypothetically, let's take Michigan State. And this isn't just plucked from the air. As a matter of fact, Chris Hummer from CBS Sports on the College Football Insiders podcast, Chris Hummer floated the idea of Brian Kelly to Michigan State. Give a listen.
Real quick on Brian Kelly. There's a lot of rumors this time of year, but I will say the only job that I've actually heard connected to Brian Kelly, like in terms of that might interest Brian Kelly, is Michigan State. It's very much rumor season, but maybe that's something to watch if Michigan State does come open.
Okay. Not me saying it. And by the way, I don't know if I believe Brian Kelly's going to coach again. I've heard both. I've heard that from people that I trust, I don't mean, unnamed people on Twitter. I mean people I trust, that they think he will coach again. And I've heard that he's out, that he's just looking to maybe do a TV job or just go enjoy the rest of his life, and he's got his money and go whatever it may be. I don't know. So I'm telling you candidly, I don't know. But I'm using Michigan State. You'll understand why. Number one, because there's a national college football writer from CBS Sports saying he's heard Brian Kelly connected with that job. And of course, Kelly's career has been in the Midwest. He was at Central Michigan, at Cincinnati, Notre Dame, like right there. It would make a lot of sense, just geographically in the Big Ten, all that sort of stuff. Also, Jonathan Smith, the current coach at Michigan State, signed a 7-year, $52.85 million contract. Let's just call it $53 million. Okay? If Brian Kelly takes the Michigan State job, again, this is a hypothetical. Let's say Michigan State comes open, they want Brian Kelly, he takes that job, and they give him a similar deal that Jonathan Smith got, a $53 million contract. Well, guess what? Brian Kelly's buyout now goes to zero, or $1 million, right? His buyout is virtually gone because of mitigation. So, what LSU could offer in this negotiation is to remove that mitigation clause if they settle at a lower number. So let's say LSU goes to Brian Kelly and says, hey, look, you're owed $54 million. What if we give you $30 and we remove the mitigation clause? Because what Brian Kelly doesn't want to have happen is have his buyout mitigated. So you could say, all right, we'll give you $30, but we'll remove the mitigation clause. So you go get a job, and if you get a job, it's $54 million. Now you got a $30 million bonus. You're guaranteed this lump sum on top of the deal you're doing at your new job. Does that make sense? And it does make a lot of sense. Now, that's also, of course, predicated upon the idea that Brian Kelly wants to coach again. Because if he doesn't, then he might be content just to sit back for this next 6 years and collect $800,000 a month for the next 6 years, which LSU could do that. But if Kelly wants the lump sum now, it would behoove him to come to the table, and it would certainly behoove LSU to get something done so this no longer impacts their ability to hire a coach. And these coaches only start to have urgency when they want to work again. Like Les Miles is the great example of this. When Les Miles was fired, LSU was buying him out, and Les Miles still had $6 million left on his buyout when he got the Kansas job. And at that moment, he was motivated to settle the remainder of his buyout so he could go coach. He wanted to coach again. So Les had $6 million left on his buyout, and LSU paid. They settled for $1.6. So Les walked away from $4.4 million. He was owed $6 million. He took $1.6 million just to be done with it so he can go coach Kansas. And that's where LSU has to approach this if Brian Kelly wants to coach again. If he does, there's a way to structure this thing to where you can both get what you want, you can move on without having a messy lawsuit and suing and for cause clauses and all this sort of stuff that nobody wants to see. Neither side wants to see that. Both sides want to move on. There's a way to do it. And then, obviously, that benefits LSU because then they can just move on with their coach. And Brian Kelly can move on. Now, and if Brian Kelly does not want to coach again, okay. Then if you're LSU, your idea has to be, hey, man, we're just going to pay you for the next 6 years. You'll just stay on the payroll for the next 6 years. $800K a month for the next 6 years. And that's it. And it'll be mitigated by whatever job you get. And oh, by the way, part of that mitigation clause requires Brian Kelly to look for work. So let's say he's sitting on the sideline doing whatever and is not looking for work. Now you have an actionable item potentially against him to go say, hey, you're not looking for a job. Now your buyout goes down to zero because you're in breach of contract. And maybe then he's more motivated to settle at a reasonable number. Point is, I'm an idiot. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm just a loudmouth, red-faced, bald-headed radio guy. But I've had enough conversations with smart people today to find paths through this that are actually sensible. You don't think Brian Kelly, Trace Armstrong, Verge Osbury, Scott Ballard, you don't think these guys can have those conversations with smart people to get this thing done? It's the thing about this that annoys me the most. Like, it's never fun to pay a buyout. You gave someone a big contract. You had big hopes and dreams. It didn't work. Now you're stuck with this big bill, and it sucks. I get it. But you know what sucks more? Trying to label a for-cause firing on somebody and how that's going to reflect on your next coach and haggling over dollars and whatever public embarrassment might come out of throwing out the dirty laundry. Like, come to the table. I feel like at the beginning scene of Wedding Crashers. Like, with the arbitration, I get it. It used to be good. Wasn't the wedding good? And you dance? You're just a bunch of young kids just trying to make it honest. Can't we find the common ground and move on with this thing a little bit? You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Anyway, there's a way to do it. These guys have got to come to the table and find their way through it. It's doable, so do it. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Love telling you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Great place, man. Great people. For something that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, talking about the conversation we're having right now, man, not everybody is comfortable buying jewelry. We don't do it often. Especially if you're buying a diamond engagement ring. Maybe it's an anniversary present, whatever it may be. Birthday. Celebrating a milestone. Whatever you do, thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Just walk in. They're going to make you comfortable. They call it the Lee Michaels experience. It's what they perfected. You walk in, and they're going to give you chocolates on a tray, something cold to drink, and they're going to make you feel comfortable with the whole process. Man, you want to try on 1,000 rings and don't buy anything today? Okay, they're good with that. They want you to be comfortable with the process, and they perfected that. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it's after further review. Sean Salsbury, 30 minutes from right now. Looking forward to that conversation. Got a lot of QB stuff to talk about with both Saints and LSU. Garrett Nussmeier, Michael Van Buren. You got a 2-quarterback system, so how do you manage it? We'll get Sean's thoughts on that. And, of course, Tyler Shuck. What a performance in Charlotte against the Panthers. What type of progress did Sean see? We're going to get to all that coming up in hour number 3 here in about a half an hour from right now. All right. I got a quick break. Saints are off. Kellen Moore, a little bit on what the plan is for the bye week. We'll dive into that as we continue. Tigers and the Pros in about 15 minutes. It's AFR.
After further review.
Temps in the 30s this morning. You might think, man, got to cover the plants and all that sort of stuff. Not if you're talking about trees and shrubs, man. This is the perfect weather, man. This fall, cool weather is the perfect weather to plant shrubs and trees. Maybe you've been thinking about those privacy shrubs for your neighbor, just big shrubs around your pool, whatever it may be. This is the time to get them in the ground right now in the fall when it's cool like this. Nobody's got a better selection than Clegg's Nursery. So get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local. And maybe it's not trees or shrubs. Maybe it's the fall flowers. Great selection at all 4 locations. You want to add that beautiful pop of color this fall to your flower beds, your patio pots for your guests to enjoy this Thanksgiving and Christmas. Clegg's can help you. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Parish Construction. Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along.
I mean, they just punched us in the mouth right away. And just a below our standard game. And, you know, we did some things in the third quarter, you know, chopped into the lead a little bit, but we got to stop waiting as a team to get punched and then start trying to fight. We got to start the game that way. Again, below our standard of where we want to be.
I'm sorry, did he say below our standard twice? Willie. That was Willie Green, by the way. The Pelicans lost 121 tonight. Don't worry, I'm not talking about the Pelicans or the game. Below our standard? Willie, you're 2-8. A year ago, you literally had the worst record in the franchise in 20 years, since it was the Hornets in 2004, 2005, when they won 18 games. Below your standard? Willie, this is your standard. You're atrocious. And, I don't even want to hear the injury stuff anymore. You don't play hard. You get blown out. Early in the season, Derek Queen doesn't get on the floor to the final 5 minutes. Kind of felt like that was just planting his flag in the ground, like one final defiant stand to be like, bleep y'all, I'm doing it my way. I don't care how bad we are. Willie Green, we're not playing to our standard. I've had the full disclosure, I've had the Willie Green fired story written for like a week and a half already over at Louisiana Sports, and it's just sitting there, drafted on the back end of the website, just waiting to hit publish with the details. Like, quote from Joe Dumars, quote from Grandma Gail, his final record as the head coach. It's just waiting for those little details. It's already written. I mean, it's ready to go. It'll be any day now, I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be any day, right? Awful. It's after further review. How miserable. They play tomorrow against Portland at home. I'll tell you, I'll give you one good tidbit about the Pelicans. I'll give you one. This is what you want, some positive spin. Here's some positive. It's not even the draft pick because, remember, you don't have the draft pick. Awful. Anyway, here's the positive spin. I've told you forever. The best in-game experience to watch live sports is sitting on the floor at an NBA game. It really is. I mean, you could take 50-yard line at the NFL, standing on the field for a college football game, behind home plate for a major league game. I've done it all. I've been very fortunate in my career. I mean, it's just when you cover games, you get to do a lot of cool stuff like that. I'm telling you, the coolest thing, the greatest experience is sitting on the floor for an NBA game. You do not get watching the game on TV. You do not get an appreciation for how big, strong, fast, powerful, explosive those men are. Like, you don't understand that, like, Steph Curry is a giant. He just looks tiny next to literal giants that are 7 feet tall. And to watch them do the things they do with the athleticism is unreal. And when you sit on the floor, it's incredible. All that to say, with the Pelicans continuing to suck this hard, you're going to have opportunities when other sucky teams come to New Orleans to go onto the secondary sites and buy floor seats at sort of a reasonable price. So even if you do it once in your life, do it. Like, pick a game. Because a lot of times NBA attendance is driven by the opponent. Like whenever, like if LeBron and Luka are coming in, or Steph is coming in, or KD, now Wemby, like it's all the opposing star is coming in. People want to go see that star player. Like, pick a game against another awful team that's coming to the Smoothie King Center, whenever that may be, and like wait till 5 minutes before tip and go on a secondary site and buy floor seats. Just do it and go sit down there. I promise you'll love it. So good. The Wizards are 1-10. When are the Wizards coming here? Let's see. When are the Wizards coming to New Orleans? Are they? I hope they are. I'm trying to find this for you quickly. Wizards, New Orleans. Scrolling.
January 9th and March 8th.
They're here?
Well,
No,
they're
that's a
here
home
March
game.
8th. They're here March 8th.
Yeah, they're in Washington on the 9th.
And they're here March 8th.
There's your ticket. There's your ticket right there. Wait till March 8th, buy some floor seats. You got to wait a little while to pay it off. But it'll be worth it, I promise. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. I want to get to some Ellen Moore here in just a quick second. Let me remind you about Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, as they say, together we roar. Championship health partner, and they are so interwoven together, and I love telling you about the many ways that Our Lady of the Lake has helped drive LSU athletics forward, not only with their championship-level health care for LSU athletes, but also LSU students and our communities as a whole. I mean, $250 million in commitments of facility upgrades to so many of their facilities across the FMOL health system. It's just an amazing group of people that provide access and convenience for world-class health care. And it doesn't matter if it's heart health, if it's stroke, if it's cancer, pediatrics, anything that you might be dealing with physically. Our Lady of the Lake physicians can help you get through it with world-class care and, of course, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Kellen Moore met with reporters on Monday as they head into the bye week. Of course, Tuesday's a day off in the NFL, and the Saints are heading into their bye, so they get an opportunity to get out of town and lay low a little bit this week. Can you play 14, please? You did talk about the team's health going into this bye week.
Good. No one came out of this game that would have impacted the game potentially this week. And so, obviously there's plenty of maintenance, but nothing changes from our standpoint.
So that's good to know. And hopefully next week when you're coming off the bye, Taliese Fuaga would be back. That would be the one real key guy that you were missing, your starting right tackle. The other thing that's interesting is when you go into your open date, it gives you an opportunity to take some time away, but also sort of assess where you are. First, Kellen was asked kind of what he's going to do. Remember, Sean Payton would always just let the guys go. Like, you're just completely off, get out of here. He took that from Andy Reid during his time in Philly. Kellen Moore talked about what he'll do during the bye.
Every year is different. We have the later bye. We don't have a Thursday game this year, and so this is kind of our one opportunity for our guys to breathe and kind of recharge themselves. And so obviously some guys guys are on different schedules at this point. Some guys were obviously doing, the guys that had to do treatment and weight room and stuff today, and then most of the week guys will be out of here recovering in their own way, and then Monday we'll regroup and kind of get a bonus Monday in, and then get back into a normal week.
That's great. So he'll take that approach with the team this year where guys just get out of here. Guys that need treatment and all will get it, but it's a week off where they're not in the building at all. Go on vacation, do what you got to do, rest, reset, come back for the final 7 games. And speaking of, he kind of gave an assessment of where he thinks the team is 2-8, but through 10 weeks. And, of course, it's much easier going into your bye off a win and what might have been your best performance of the year.
I think there's going to be a really good deep dive the next couple of days for us collectively to give really clear answers for that for ourselves. But, I think overarching wise, I love the way our guys battle. I love the way our guys compete. They play together. I think for us to have a season where, you're not getting the wins you want, for our locker room and for our guys to be battling together and have the energy each and every day, I think shows just the special guys we have. And so, we want to be a physical football team. We got to be able to run the football, stop the run. This past week was a step in the right direction for that. And so we just got to keep building on that and continue to find the explosive opportunities we can on the offense and eliminating it on defense. And special teams, I thought Isaiah had some big time plays in the game, some tackles that had huge impacts, and we got to keep taking advantage of those opportunities.
So obviously you got 7 games to go, and if nothing else, you're already an 8-loss team. You're not going anywhere, but the renewed interest in watching what Tyler Shuck might be able to do over the final 7 games has breathed new life into this team. Not the organization, the team, for the remainder of this season. Of course, we'll be following. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. Musaloo Tigers and the Pros. Stick around.
After further review.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty, agent225.com, agent225.com, agent225.com. Remember, If you're buying or selling, you need a realtor, you need Darren James, because Darren James gets to a closing table faster and for more money than any other realtor in the state and more than all but 13 in the country. No, seriously. There's 1.5 million realtors in the United States of America. Like, let me put this into perspective. 1.5 million realtors in the United States of America. Darren James, number 14 in the country on the transaction side, the number of homes closed. That's remarkable right here in this market. You want to get to a closing table? You want Darren James. Give him a call. 603-1599. Nope. I gave you the wrong number. Don't do that. That's the wrong number altogether. Agent225.com. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't in the cars or pickup trucks, but if it
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We always appreciate our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, and they always appreciate farmers. By the way, this Saturday against Arkansas is the Thank a Farmer game, and our friends over at Sunshine are going to be honoring 2 farmers on the field this Saturday for LSU against Arkansas. Of course, Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, also a proud partner of LSU Athletics. We always appreciate our friends over at Sunshine, sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Big shout out to all the farmers who make this thing go in the US of A. All right, we're wrapping up hour number 2. Muso, Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, it is an off day in the National Football League, but the Patriots are set to play the Jets on Thursday Night Football, so we do have the estimated injury report for New England, and there are a couple significant former Tigers that are on it. Kayshon Boutte will start there. You'll remember hamstring injury for Boutte against the Atlanta Falcons. He missed the majority of that game, did not play a week ago for New England in their victory on Sunday against Tampa Bay. Boutte upgraded now to limited. Again, estimation, but he would be limited with the hamstring. That's good to see. Hopefully he can get back on the field Thursday night. Kayvon Chason is the other one. He's been dealing with an ankle, was limited all of last week, did play in the game, recorded a sack actually against the Bucs. Now the estimated injury report has been upgraded to full. So good to see. Quick turnaround after being limited, but getting out there, no setback, able to play hopefully Thursday night. Naz Reid in the NBA night ago, the lone former Tiger in action. 28 minutes off the bench, 7 points for Naz. Also grabbed 5 rebounds in the ball game. Blocked the shot too. He's been off to a great start. That's kind of the lowest, the low end there for him so far this season. And then a couple Tigers in action tonight in the NBA to keep an eye on. Trendon Watford, Cam Thomas. Those guys will be on the floor. We'll get you an update on them tomorrow. That's Tigers in the Pros.
We're presented by Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com, drink Evermore. Big shout out to everybody that drinks Evermore, that you find it out in the wild, you snap a photo, you text it to me. My guy Shane over at Evermore and all the stuff, they love to see those pictures, those tweets, everything. So, I mean, you walk into gas stations, over to Circle K by my house, walked in, wall on the right, they had the big 64-ounce bottles, was in there yesterday, snagged one of them. Always encourage you to drink a better, healthier form of hydration and a Louisiana product. Don't buy that water from Texas or from a foreign country. It's a Louisiana product. It's natural artesian water. It's a healthier product with national distribution. You can find it at a store near you. Go to the website, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. Type in your zip code, and it'll tell you the store nearest you that sells Evermore, or you could order it online, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, y'all, we're knocking out the break here. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, scheduled to be joined by Sean Salsbury. A lot of QB talk with the Tigers and the Saints. We'll do it next on AFR.
AFR.
I love telling you about the steaks over at Supper Club. I do it, I mean, darn near every day. But they are more than just steaks. Yes, you will have a world-class steak experience at Supper Club, but you will have a world-class anything experience at Supper Club. For example, the Chilean sea bass. It's an 8-ounce portion, marinated for 8 hours in a miso and citrus marinade. It's oven roasted and served on a bed of steamed bok choy. Sea bass is finished with a miso glaze with shiitake mushrooms that are blended in the glaze, and it's garnished with scallions, green onions. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, this is the best piece of Chilean sea bass you will ever put in your mouth. No matter what you want to eat, it'll be the best you've ever had at Supper Club. It's an amazing dining experience. Book your reservation today at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email LockeMeredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Tear Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Mavericks are in the market for a new GM. They've been stuck in neutral since the head-scratching trade of Luka Doncic, an NBA star in his prime, to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, who has missed 30 of 44 regular season games since the deal. The Mavs today fired the man behind the trade, general manager Nico Harrison. ESPN NBA analyst Janae Agwumake.
This has been the most catastrophic, probably, series of unfortunate events as it pertains to someone's decision-making. And I know that there are some circumstances out of his control. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, their availability. But still, you're supposed to go out there and give your team a better shot by constructing a roster that works. Seeing just a number of them not doing as well as they should have been to start the year, this makes sense.
Assistant GMs Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi will lead Dallas's basketball operations department on an interim basis. Right knee soreness was sidelined 76ers center Joel Embiid tonight against the Celtics. He has had several issues with his left knee over the years. NFL Jaguars top receiver, cornerback Travis Hunter, will miss the rest of this season following surgery to repair the LCL in his right knee.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio.
That's right.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Every Tuesday, we visit with Sean Salsbury, Unpaved. There on YouTube. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Always glad to have Sean with us for a couple of minutes, talk some ball. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Man, actually, I'm thrilled to have you today. Not that I'm not every week, but this is one of those weeks where the storylines write themselves. Let's start with LSU. Saturday night in Tuscaloosa, they made the decision that many of us anticipated was going to happen at some point. Not sure I thought it would happen how it did, but they made the switch from Nussmeier to Van Buren, and Frank Wilson has said, Sean, this week that they're going to continue playing both. So you officially have a 2-quarterback system. Let's start with Saturday. What did you think of the decision to make the move from Nussmeier to Van Buren there in the third quarter?
You know, you look at numbers and accuracy and how long Nussmeier has been there. You think, well, let him play through it, but you also have to have an eye towards the future. And as good as he can be, just they weren't moving the football. And it's been a minute since LSU's been shut out of the end zone, should I say, Maddie? I get it. I'm a Garrett Nussmeier fan, but I also get production. So I think the decision to go with both, while I hate a 2-quarterback system, it rarely works for them. It's just the end of the season I think it's you pay respect to Nussmeier because he's earned it, and you got to find out what's going on moving forward. You just do. And it's kind of happening on both the NFL and the college level there. And I know we'll get to the Saints, but it's a bummer because I know that Nuss, but I can send him a piece of advice. I live in exactly where he is right now. I did at SC at the end of my career with Rodney Peete. And Rodney's one of my best friends, and I've probably shared this with you in the past. And it just, at this stage, you're trying to grind it out, and then they made the switch late, and they should have. While I was a good player, I was underproductive as far as putting points on the board and just getting a spark and getting it going. And it's been that way for the most part offensively for LSU and as a team all year. I get the move. While it's a bummer for those of us who support them, but if you're an LSU fan, you have to get something going. And when you're not putting the ball in the end zone and your team has struggled and you fired a coach and all those things, it falls on two people usually. The guy who is on the sideline with the coaching shirt on, and the guy under center. That's usually the way it works, and it's not fair, but guess what? That's just the way it is, and he has underproduced this year considering what we expected from Nuss going in. But this is not a life sentence, man. He can go do his thing, continue to compete. He'll be playing somewhere on Sundays. It may not be as high as he wanted to be, but LSU has to find out going forward as well. And you're looking for a spark. And no quarterback likes a 2-quarterback system unless you're the guy that wasn't playing and now you're going to get a shot.
Yeah. I
think that LSU's probably waiting to see who's going to grab it by the throat and make it happen. But I anticipated this, and here we are.
Yeah. I've kind of said, making the decision in game, though, Sean, without a plan is kind of like your double dutch. The ropes are going. It's like, how do you time your jump? When do you know to make the move? So I'll just ask it. Like, if you're Frank Wilson, you're going to start Garrett Nussmeier, but when do you go to Van Buren?
When you have a 3-and-out or a couple of them, when you feel things start to stall, and you're exactly right. Having a plan for something like this, first of all, it's a two-way suck, Matt. And here's aside for the quarterbacks, it is because if you're going good and they make the change, well, then you got other guys that you've got to. If you're just doing it for the sake of change, that's not what this is invented for. Having two, it just isn't. If you're going to start Nussmeier, you ride it until it stalls, a series or two. You don't just let him go drive down and score, in my opinion, if I'm coaching, and then say, oh, we're going to give it. You don't owe anybody favors. You just don't. There's nothing fair about these things. It's not like, well, he's been here like in high school. They reward the senior to go out and play his last game. I understand, but in truth, you're trying to win, and you're trying to get better. So you don't owe Nussmeier anything other than the respect he's flat out earned, but that respect may not come in playing if he's not playing well, and you don't owe the backup time. That's something he's got to earn himself, whether it's on the practice field, whether it's during spring practice, or whether it's in the game. So you got to get out of your feels on not you, but anybody and the coach. And if you're not going good, then the other guy comes in, and if he starts going good, you can't say, well, we said we're going to play two. You play two unless one of them's grabbing the job around the throat and producing. Because if you pull him out, then why? It's like a guy goes and gets 3 sacks, and you say, well, we rotate. Well, the guy's dominating today. Maybe today you don't rotate. So to me, this is a feel production. We do a lot of potential, a lot of feel-good stuff in sports, but this is not a feel-good thing. You're going to play until it slows down. The back and forth doesn't do either quarterback any good. You get in rhythm, you want to stay in rhythm. If you're not in rhythm, you want to play your way into rhythm. So that's why these never work. If you have two, you don't have one. That's basically what we're saying here, at least in 2025, the rest of the way. And both of them are going to want to compete. So the only way that this wins is if the team wins, and you have to start with them first. The quarterback is secondary when it comes to the feelings of the guy. It's not fun and it's a bummer, but the feelings can't matter. You got to do what's best for the other, basically 21 cats that are starting in the rest of your roster.
Yeah. And what was interesting is Saturday against Alabama, Nussmeier statistically is good. He was 18 of 21.
Well, they didn't hit the ground much. That's right.
The flip side of it is Van Buren wasn't. I mean, he completed 46% of his passes. He had a fumble. But coming out of it, the feeling that many had was that Van Buren kind of gave him a little life. So what did you see from both that maybe you liked or didn't like?
Well, and that's just it, Matty. You think about, and I hate to compare this to somebody. Let me take you back to the Giants. Russ Wilson throws for about 500.
Yeah.
Starts the next week and gets benched.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they put in Jackson Dart. And Dart's numbers were not that good the next week when he started. They weren't that good. Like 10 to 12 or 10 to 16, whatever it was. But he ran the one in early and they won. There was an energy. And I say that a lot on this show, but there is. The numbers, if you just look at the numbers, statistics, Nussmeier and history, Nussmeier should be starting and playing the full game unless he doesn't get him into the end zone and you want to make an energy change. So I think we know right now who gives you the best chance to win just based on seeing coverage and knowing it. Nothing stuck out because they didn't put the ball in the end zone. And that I don't think Nussmeier anything to be ashamed of other than he knows that's the one thing that he does know. Being a coach's son, he's seen it for years that the object is to get. And if he was coaching, Nuss would probably tell you the same thing. And, if Garrett was. So, what I saw was a team that offensively all the way around right now just looks lost to me from the way they're attacking it, getting into the end zone. Now, Alabama's had some struggles. They could have put the game away offensively and defensively even earlier, and they didn't. I mean, this game was still, it was still a couple scores away from being a different look. And but listen, you're just trying to find something. Right now, you're hanging around anything, and let's not forget that while they're probably going to go with 99% with a coach that's not in the program, you're still coaching for your future. So as a coach, you're trying to play the guy that gives you the best chance to put up some numbers and win the last few weeks of the season. So what I saw was, and it's a boost of energy, and it's the way it is for all of us that played backup or starter. It's inevitable. No matter what the backup does, the second he comes off the bench, crowd goes crazy, although they were on the road. But if you're at home or people sitting at home, it's like, okay, yeah, this is the reason. And then you're like, oh, we're 3 and out, or you punt, and it's not the same. And then that guy, the unfortunate thing is then people start to get a quick bad fix on the guy who came in. It's like, well, he didn't spark us. We didn't win. Where's the next guy? Yeah. Which is not fair because he doesn't get a lot of work. So fragile position, man. It takes a lot of mental toughness. So I would start Nussmeier as well, but I would not rotate him if he's hot. You're playing. The other guy will get his chance. If you're playing well, you stay in there while we're moving it. But if we continue to flounder around, then you've got to look for spark. You're not going to get some wholesale, oh my gosh, look at us, we are a different team. But you may get a little bit of energy boost. LSU is who they are this year. Yeah. And that's a very average football team.
9 games in, there's no right that's what you are.
Right.
I want to break and we come back. I want to ask a similar question about the Saints because they did look like a different football team on Sunday. I'm curious what you thought about Tyler Shuck. So we're going to get to that with Sean as we continue. We're glad you're with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Watermark Baton Rouge, voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. Not me saying it, you said it. The best of 225. I mean, it is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, Watermark Baton Rouge. You walk into Watermark Baton Rouge and you understand it is the picture of luxury. Luxury accommodations. You have family or friends coming in for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, maybe for one of the final 2 LSU home games. Make sure they know about Watermark Baton Rouge. Stay downtown. Enjoy everything downtown has to offer. Walking to restaurants, shops, bars, the river, everything. It's right there, walking distance from Watermark Baton Rouge, and the accommodations are outstanding. Or maybe you just want to go have Sunday brunch at the Gregory. Or maybe after work you want to go downtown and have a cocktail at the lobby bar. Or maybe you got an event coming up. There's no better place in downtown than Watermark Baton Rouge.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along. She likes the way it's pulling while we're tilling.
Always appreciate our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Glad to have Sean Salsbury with us, especially on this day where the Saints got their second win of the season and did so by an incredibly impressive performance by Tyler Shuck on a day where you traded away Rashid Shaheed, you were down 3 offensive linemen, and he went on the road and looked the part, even if for a day. Okay, Sean. Tyler Shuck, second start, gets the win. First Saints rookie to get a win since 1981, man. Dave Wilson. Been a minute. So, okay, let's just start here. What did you make of it?
I was impressed with a lot of things about him, Matt. One thing is his awareness when the pocket broke down. While he's played a lot of college football, the tendency is always early. The security blanket is not there. Again, it happened early in the game. It happened later in the game too. His awareness of being able to scramble out and find Johnson and then make the accurate throw is the head dips to watch the pass rush. Oh, first one breaks down, then he steps out of it, has the awareness to keep his head up and understand it. The presence of him around there to make off schedule plays when they weren't there. That was one. Two is the big play was back. He took shots when they were there. I'm a big take judicious shots when they're there. Because I've never met a quarterback that was any good over the long haul that was afraid to take shots. And when you're getting that start, Matty, the first thing that comes to your mind is protect the ball. I hate the message more than anything in the world, having been a starter and a backup, that when some coaches will go to the backup and say, just don't lose it for us. If you're sending that message, you shouldn't play him. It should, you go win it for us, drive the bus, take the shots when they're there, and be smart with the football. I cannot. It's when I'm telling you, it makes my head explode when I hear that message. Well, he's the backup. We're going to protect him a little more, and we'll compress it. I get all that, but don't let your team know. You want them to know that your guy believes in it, and they did a good job at that with this situation, because there's no worse message to tell a backup than then he plays scared and gripping the ball too tight, and all of a sudden he's afraid to take the shot, and when he does, it's desperate and late. Pocket awareness was really good, and the ability to extend plays. I was impressed he had that in him. And you said it's just for a day, but that's the only day he had. And it was against a team that's improving on the road. Phenomenal start by him. The big play was there on accurate chances. Hey, a lot of times, too, you know how I am. Make me the simple, boring play all the time. And then when the spectacular chance is there, the deep go route down the right sideline, drop it in the bucket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3 hitch, get it up and drop it in there, let them go do something with it. That's why they're athletes. That's why they got those 80 numbers and single-digit numbers. They can go score for you.
Yeah.
And he did that. So the chances were there. He took them. And then to scramble out and to hit the ball to the left in the second half. I mean, there was just something. And then he made a couple tight window throws that he set up, put the ball in his hand, put his foot in the ground, and ripped it when he had a little zone and sitting down in the zone. And a great job by receivers to sit down and give him a window to throw to. So his awareness for a guy, because it's easy to say, well, I got the job. I don't want to lose it by making the mistake. And he didn't make the big mistake, did not make, he protected the football, but he also played aggressive. And the home run was there. They looked at me. A lot of guys got involved, and look what it did also. The run game did enough and excelled with Kamara. And so they were a two-dimensional football team. If you hadn't seen anything all year long but what you saw against Carolina, you know what you're saying to yourself? The NFC South, they got a chance. Defense was really good. They put it on them. They didn't give up a lot. And on the end, they didn't give up a lot of run after the catch. And offensively, they extended plays, made run after the catch, and when the home run was there, they hit it. And I love the way the ball came out of his hand. He didn't look like a guy who was getting a road start against a pretty damn good team and an improving team. The result, it wasn't just the potential of it. The result was good. You got the guy who's going to play the rest of the season. Now, what that leads to in the future, who the hell knows?
Yeah. Hey, do you look, if I were to play devil's advocate, they only scored 17 points.
Yep.
Are we overreacting considering the productivity wasn't, like his stats were good, but on the scoreboard, it didn't necessarily manifest?
Yeah. The one thing, if the final score would have ended up where they kicked 2 field goals and lost, yeah, but 17 was enough.
Yeah.
And Carolina's, unfortunately, they're not the Saints this year. And remember, you asked me last week, well, can the Saints go win? I said, well, he's playing shorthanded, but of course, look around the league.
Yeah.
All you got to do is watch the Miami Dolphins, who couldn't beat me and you in a fist fight, let alone a pillow fight, and they physically manhandled Buffalo. It's crazy. So of course they can. But what they did, the result was that they fed off the quarterback's energy, and that's no disrespect to Rattler. You know, I hold him in high regard, but you got to play the guy. And right now we've been waiting to see what Shuck's going to be about, and we saw it. Now, the hardest thing to be a starter in this league is when it's your gig to go out and repeat. Expectations weren't real high. It's the Saints, receivers gone, trading guys away. What are they going to do? The guy's playing shorthanded. And like a guy who has the flu, you go play kind of sick, and you're like, take the pressure off yourself, and you're like, or injured. You're like, damn, I'm flowing today, because you didn't put all that pressure. In this one, it's like, what did he have to lose? Just let it rip, man. And he did. And it's easier said than done. But yeah, you'd like him to get in 34, but man, beggars can't be choosy right now, Matty. Give me a couple touchdown passes the way they came. Of course, you'd like more, but we're also not dealing with a hack team. Carolina's pretty good, and they did enough to win. So to me, I'd rather have a 282-yard, 2-touchdown, protect the football, make some plays, win. On the road, they're tough to come by wins, as are the big numbers, than a 450-yard performance where we still get beat because we play between the 20s and don't get in the end zone. We kick field goals and lose. So I'll take it. And there was nothing ugly about it other than they didn't close it out. But momentum's I don't even like game-to-game momentum. The confidence. Yeah. How can you not go into this week thinking, you know what? We got another chance. That goes back to that energy we talked about. But he had energy, and there was production on the end of it.
It's crazy, man. I mean, they head into their bye, but Sean, they come out of it, and they play Atlanta twice. They get Carolina again at home. They play the Jets, the Titans, the Dolphins. Like, you look up and you go, that win total over under 5.5. All of a sudden, you're like, well, I mean.
Exactly. And name me one of those teams they're all beatable. And one of those teams going in that you don't feel that you can like you mentioned, Atlanta twice, Hell, the way Miami is, they got one, but Miami's Miami. You can physically handle them. You start to roll through it and you're thinking, well, hell, why not us? So, yeah, man, I was impressed with last year. I'm trying to compartmentalize and not think about the other 9 games or what have you, and then what's ahead. Compartmentalize on the one performance like I try to do at this position because I know how difficult it is to be successful. But he played, he had some veteran moments in the game, and he was not overwhelmed, which to me is a really good start for a rookie quarterback.
Did he, like, it's hard to ask, what do you think the ceiling is when he's made 2 starts and just had a win, but is there, like, stylistically or something that you would say, okay, well, here's a comp of kind of just sort of a range to suggest skill set? What are we looking at here? Like, is this a guy? Because Sean, here's the way the conversation's happening here, and you can't know this through 2 games, but everyone's wondering, all right, you have 7 games left. Are they in April going to draft their franchise quarterback, or can this actually be the guy they build around? Like, do you think there's the potential in there that this could be the guy that they build around?
I absolutely do, and I thought it before he took a snap. What round they drafted him in, Matt? It's a rhetorical question. What round?
He was second, but he was the 40th overall pick.
That's what I'm saying. So, which for some, that's the 40 to 30, to 32. Some consider that part of the beginning of the second round, first round pick. My point is, I'm not the only one who thinks it. When you draft a guy in the second round in the top 40 picks, you know what you're telling me? Now, we draft a guy in the first 5 picks, we think he's going to put a gold Hall of Fame jacket on, right? Going to be a star for 15 years. But when you draft a guy that high, you're trying, and they need other bodies, you're telling your players and the franchise and the city, we believe in the guy. Or you wouldn't have drafted him. You just said, well, somebody else may jump in, but maybe we can hold off a round to the 3rd round, to the 4th. So they think so too. And listen, when you take a look at San Francisco, take a look at Brock Purdy. When we start comparing, when Brock Purdy was drafted, he was just trying to make a team. Got a break, and now he's $55 million a year richer, and he's not playing right now. So the comparisons are hard, like you said, on the early return. But did I see something that tells me he's going to be a franchise quarterback? No, but did I see something that says they got a chance to use the draft pick, that this could be the guy? We got to get out of, not just you and I, but anybody, get out of, well, he wasn't a first-round pick, so he can't be a franchise quarterback. That's BS. I hear it all the time. Montana, I don't need to tell you with your history and knowing this, or people that are listening, how many guys have become franchise quarterbacks that weren't drafted high, and how many guys that have been busts that were picked in the first 15 that you said he's a no-brainer, can't miss. Well, 3 years later, Anthony Richardson's a miss so far. Maybe somewhere else if Daniel Jones is going to be there forever. So for me, and we buried Sam Darnold, we buried Baker Mayfield, and both of those dudes are playing great football. So I personally, here's what I saw. I saw off-schedule stuff that impressed me. I saw some tight window arm enough to get – and listen, if you're throwing on time with accuracy, I don't need Josh Allen's arm. I need Drew Brees' accuracy, and I need anticipation, and I need great leadership skills that elevates the building and elevates the players on the team. So I saw enough to tell me this is why I drafted him. You're damn right I did, and let's go see what happens. But I can tell you that you're going to see a lot more in the next 7 weeks, considering they are still going to be the underdog more than likely in all of them. And so how they react to him and how he reacts may tell you everything you need to know. And I would encourage fans to see the forest through the trees. Don't just look at the end result numbers, wins and losses, but how they improve and how he handles what's going to be adversity. He's going to knock in the mouth. Somebody's going to sack him 6 times or 5 times and hit him 15 others in a game. How he responds. I'll learn more about my franchise quarterback that way than I will. Hey, Sean, did you see he threw for 300 again and 2 touchdowns, but threw 2 picks, took 5 sacks, and the sacks were on him as opposed to on the offensive line because he held the ball too long. Look for the little things that tell you what you need to see. And right now, if you watch Mendoza, that drive against Penn State's pretty good. Man. I'm not sure I see another guy, Simpson. There's some good ones that you say, I'm turning my complete franchise over to a guy right now. I've still got some stuff I got to see between now and the offseason. And Shuck gets their eye in their ear right now, which is a great thing for him. And he gets to do it without having 40 weapons that everybody says, well, he should play good. If he plays good, that's a bonus times 1 because of the ability that he's making people around him better, which quite frankly, the cupboard's still fairly bare when it comes to the number of weapons he has to work with.
I kind of wish they had a game this week, man.
You and me. When I said next week, I meant I knew they had to buy this week.
No, I know.
I think he does too because of it's that feeling of, damn, when you're going good, it's like, no, don't make me wait. I want it to fester just for a few days so I get back out there and let it rip again. So hopefully he'll file that away and will the team. But I'll tell you the advantage for him is he gets time, more verbiage, get audible checks, more trust from the staff and Kellen to say, hey, man, you played some football. Now here's a run pass check with me, or maybe we can get this in and an extra week. But I'm with you. I would like to see him urgently. Hell, I'd rather have him play tonight. Instead of college hoops, even though I love college hoops, I'd like to see him play again right now. So it was a good start, though. Yeah. And New Orleans should be excited about what's next.
Yeah, that was going to be my final question. Would you rather play again or do you like to buy? But we'll have to wait and see. Saints.
The hell with the buy when you're going good. You want the buy when you're getting your rear end handed to you? As a quarterback, you're saying, no. You'll be out there. You'll be at home throwing balls around your living room because you say, man, I'm feeling it. So, but the great thing about it is you also get the feast off. And just don't get caught up in the listening to how good we're talking about you. Just go about your preparation as always. And he's seen enough football to know what it's going to take to be successful.
He's Sean Salsbury. Get him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Unpaved there on YouTube, at Unpaved Sean Salsbury. If you want to give him a follow there, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. All right, man, we appreciate it as always. Thank you.
My pleasure, brother. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Sean Salsbury is the best. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. firstsouthland.com. You know, we're talking about Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. So many synergies there. Of course, all the farmers that use Sunshine's equipment, certainly you know about First South Farm Credit. We're going to be thanking farmers this weekend, courtesy of Sunshine out at the LSU game, but also, man, our friends over at First South Farm Credit, they do that every single day. They work with farmers who keep our economy going, who keep families fed. First South Farm Credit, and they got a great video up right now. Some of their great clients, Christy, her husband of Nelson Farm. You want to check that out. They're cattle farmers in Louisiana. Another awesome display of Louisianians who are helping our communities continue to grow and thrive. And First South Farm Credit have been amazing community partners for more than 100 years now, helping Louisianians buy land. It doesn't matter if you're looking for the 20 acres to build your family's dream home, the 1,000 acres for agriculture, the 100 acres for your hunting property. First South Farm Credit can help. Make sure your first call is to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All right, we're glad to have you aboard with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. We are going to knock out a quick break, come back, kind of get you caught up on the big story of the day for those that might have missed it, which is all the drama surrounding Brian Kelly, his buyout, now suing LSU for $54 million for the full amount of his buyout. Get you caught up on what you missed. Get some of your questions if you want to get him in. Email us, text us, lots of ways you can do that. Jimmy's here in about 15 minutes for Auto Locks. We're glad you're hanging out on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And right now, the entries are open if you would like to submit to win one of 600 free bicycles this Christmas. You want to see how you can enter? It's easy. Go to @GetGordon on any of the social medias. @GetGordon, 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 Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Go to any of the social medias. Just search @GetGordon. You'll see the post to win one of 600 free bikes this Christmas and how you can register for free to win one of those bikes. And, of course, just another way that Gordon gives back to the many communities that he serves. We're excited. The announcement, the bike giveaway, is going to be on December the 11th at the main corporate office, and we're going to be there for AFR that day. So get Gordon and get it done.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True. by giving away the Duplessis Builders Pool.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Got a text on the show text line from Craig. Remember, you can always text the show 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. That's a text line that it's an app called Community. I pay for it. You can text me anytime. I use it here on the show where a lot of people interact, but I'll send links whenever we have news and stuff like that. So, by the way, I always recommend that. Like, if you want breaking news, I always send links there when news breaks. And then also, the way for LouisianaSports.net, when we send push notifications, we do it through the 104.5 ESPN app. So, if you're on the app or you have the app, turn on notifications on the app, and that's how you get push notifications when we have breaking news, just as a heads up there. But Craig sent a text and said, Matt, what's your honest opinion on how the BK situation will or should end? I've seen this enough to know how I think it will end. I think ultimately they'll reach an agreement on a settlement. Now, I don't know what that number will be, and I laid out pretty clearly earlier today a path for that to happen. Now, the Advocate a day ago got a hold of documents that showed what LSU's offers were to Brian Kelly. They offered $25 million. We at LouisianaSports.net today reported that Brian Kelly's representatives countered at $43 million, and then LSU went back at $30, and they still couldn't reach an agreement. They're far apart. But again, just the fact that Kelly, who is contractually owed $54 million, was willing to take $43. He came $11 million off his number. He reduced his number by 20% and was willing to take that. He is negotiating in good faith. I don't care who you're for in this situation. I don't care if you're tired of BK, you hate him, it didn't go well, you think he was just out playing golf. I've heard it all. And I don't care. He has a contract, and LSU is contractually obligated to pay that man $54 million. So the fact that he is in that position of leverage and was willing to come down $11 million, say, I'll take 43. And you may go, 43, I'll take 40. He's owed 54. He's going to leave $11 million on the table to be done with this. That's a good faith negotiation, taking 20% off his number. So he's there. LSU's got to meet him, wherever that is. And I told you earlier that I can't take credit for it. I had an agent tell me this earlier today, and it's smart. Said LSU should go negotiate and remove the mitigation clause, because then Brian Kelly could go get a job, and whatever job he gets that full amount and the lump sum buyout. So, for example, I gave you the Michigan State example. Let's say Michigan State fires Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith's contract is a $53 million contract. If Brian Kelly, there was a report that Kelly may want the Michigan State job. I don't know if that's true or not, but play the hypothetical with me. Brian Kelly takes that job, it's $53 million. Well, his buyout at LSU, the mitigation, wipes out his buyout. He don't get paid by LSU anymore. LSU could go to Brian Kelly and say, hey, look, we'll remove take this lower number, we'll remove the mitigation number. So that way you get this lump sum buyout and you keep your new contract, whatever it is, and you get the lump sum buyout. So you don't have to worry about your number being mitigated at all. Okay. Like, there's a way to do it. And so then like, let's say it's 30, what LSU offered. We can get his new $50 million contract wherever and get $30 million sort of as a bonus on top of that. It doesn't get dropped down, right? Because if he took the full 54 from LSU and go gets a job that pays him 53 or 50 or 20 or whatever it is, now his buyout is mitigated lower than what the lump sum is LSU's offer. The point is, it benefits them both to settle. It benefits them both to reach an agreement. LSU to pay a lower number and to get out of it and just to move on with their new coach. Brian Kelly, so he can get a lump sum and go on to whatever's next. Coach again, go travel, whatever he wants to do. TV, it benefits them both to find an agreement. So I think they will. But I think you have two sides right now that are playing a high-stakes game of chicken. And it's being played out very publicly. Again, when it felt like all of this was starting to settle, now it got ramped up again today, and I hate to see that. And I just got a text from a buddy who's a national media guy who said, literally, I mean, this text, I'm not going to tell you who it was, but 5:28. So this was 12 minutes ago. Who are y'all going to hire, you think? I get some version of that 100 times a day. I know that's what everybody asks and wants to know. And I genuinely don't know. The thing that I would tell you, the audience, is the same thing I would tell anybody that asks me privately, that I've said in interviews I've done. I know Nick Saban today, the odds from Bet Online have Saban with the number one betting odds. I would tell you, I think that, I think that the number one target is Lane Kiffin. I don't think that's lip service. I don't think it's just pie in the sky. I do think that's the number one target. Really good offensive coach. Seems to have matured tremendously. I know Lane would have crawled over broken glass 4 years ago to get to Baton Rouge. He was really upset that neither LSU or Florida interviewed him. The AD that passed on him 4 years ago, Scott Woodward, is no longer in place. The AD now in place, Verge Osbury, has a great relationship with Jimmy Sexton, Kiffin's agent. I believe Nick Saban has championed Lane to LSU powers that be in those conversations he's had. I do believe that's their number one target. I don't know if they can get a deal done. Our buddy John Talty, who's now with CBS, was with AL.com for a long time, was on the College Football Insiders podcast, and was asked that question if Kiffin would leave Ole Miss.
Yeah, trying to predict what Lane's going to do is a dangerous thing. He's someone who I think knows he's going to have a lot of options. And I think this cycle has broken perfectly for Lane, where you have jobs like Florida, LSU, Auburn. Auburn, of course, he came very close to taking a few years back. And then the opportunity, of course, to stay at Ole Miss. So this is something that I think you almost have to watch on like a day-to-day basis as to how things are trending one way or another. I will say that as of November 10th, it is trending, in my opinion, from talking to different people, a little more toward him leaving than staying. But it changes so much day to day that putting a hard prediction on anything Lane may or may not do is probably not a great idea.
I agree with a lot of that. It's very difficult because of the timing, because Ole Miss is going to make the playoff. Barring some dramatic collapse, Ole Miss is going to make the playoff. And so Lane could be coaching in the middle or late January. Or they could lose their opening round game and he's done in December and he's free to go. But it complicates things significantly. I do believe that, look, actions speak louder than words. I say that all the time. And Lane Kiffin has had a contract extension on the table at Ole Miss that he could have signed at any point, and he hasn't signed it yet. That tells you, that action tells you he is open. He is open to the possibility of leaving Ole Miss. I'm not telling you definitively he's leaving. I'm telling you he's open to the possibility of leaving Ole Miss. Look, he's the odds-on favorite. Lane Kiffin is at minus 300 to be the next Florida coach. He's got the second best odds to be the next LSU coach. He is the betting favorite to be the next coach of the New York Giants. So he's got options. And wherever he goes, he's going to be really rich after next year. Hey, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Love telling you about our friends over at Shaw Bills because they're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. I want to talk about these deals. Deals like, how about the Black Friday promo that's already going on with BF Goodrich Tires? That's from November the 6th, so it's already started. November the 6th through December the 9th. You get up to $100 back when you buy a set of 4 new select BF Goodrich tires. It's just in time for holiday travels, for cold weather, and you get free installation, which is a $118 value when you use your Shaw Bills credit card. So visit ShawBillsTire.com to shop BF Goodrich Tires and for complete offer details. Offer valid November 6th through December 9th. Void where prohibited. Subject to credit approval. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it is AFR, man. Been a good show. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Shea Dixon was here in hour number 1, if you missed that. Talked some Cruton. Tigers lost commitment from DeAnthony Lafayette, who's flipped to Miami. Talked about the rest of this recruiting class, recruiting cycle, how it might all play out. There's 2 other prospects that Shea said put on alert that could flip out of this class. You can catch that on demand if you missed it. Sean Salsbury was great as always. We spent a good chunk of hour 2 talking about LSU's coaching search. The Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Clark Lee, Kenny Dillingham, like where all that stands. We did that at the top of hour 2. And we led the show with a full explanation of what's going on with all the Brian Kelly, the buyout, the lawsuit, everything. You get all that on demand. AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. So podcast or YouTube. You want the full show, search After Further Review. You want LSU, search AFR LSU. You want Saints, search AFR Saints. Podcast, YouTube, it's all there for you. Please subscribe. Okay, final break of the show. Come back. Jimmy will be here for a little Out of Locks. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Stick around.
AFR.
32 degrees when we woke up this morning in Baton Rouge. 32 degrees. I know you turned your heater on. I don't blame you. You don't want to freeze in your house, even though, like, I married an Eskimo. My wife will just turn off the central heater altogether and be like 50 degrees when we wake up. But you turn on your heater. That's okay. It's not too late to call River City's 1 Hour Air. It's not too late for that heater safety check. You want to get this done. Make sure your heater is clean. It's tuned up so it runs efficiently during the cold weather months, so it'll save you money on your energy bills, so it'll last for years and years and years to come. That's why you want to get that standard maintenance done. And, of course, also to keep your home and your family safe this cold weather season. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. We always appreciate Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Remember, Saturday, it is Thank a Farmer Day. They'll have a couple of farmers on the field for LSU Arkansas, courtesy of our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, and an official partner of LSU Athletics. All right, one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, how are you?
Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Little 1-1 night. We won with the football, play on Monday Night Football. Lost with the Bulldogs from Stark Vegas. But that's all right, man. Another day, we plod on, and a nice card tonight, man. What do you think?
Yeah, Bulldogs from State, they were a little bit uncomfortable in a rural setting in South Dakota, so should have known that.
Yeah. Tough spot.
But the Eagles
you bring the city boys to the country, and it just, it just doesn't work out.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, odd spot for a Monday night game in college basketball. Speaking of college basketball, this is a really good slate of games. We got a good week of games, actually, man. A lot of good games and plenty of good ones tonight to complement our action. Let's start off in college basketball. Our buddy Matt Humans from Beeson, who had a really good college football week this past week, he does a lot of preseason homework. He and I both like Texas Tech tonight. Texas Tech, we know they're funding their football all the way down to their softball, so the basketball is getting a big chunk of it as well, and they're very, very good. So Texas Tech on the road, on campus, in Champaign against the Illini, plus a 3.5. We're going with the Red Raiders in his top 15 matchup that kicks off at 7:30 tonight. This one is a stinky line. Kentucky Wildcats. We talk about the collective. The average SEC basketball program is getting 15% of their collective. Kentucky's getting 45%. They want to win a little bit more in hoops in Kentucky. But, man, Louisville has put their money where their mouth is as well. This is their Super Bowl, their Final Four, whatever, tonight. So stinky line. Wait, Kentucky's catching points at Louisville? Yeah, we're going to take the home-standing Louisville Cardinals. That place will be jumping tonight, minus the, I think it's 5.5 currently, Mac.
It is.
Yeah, so minus 5.5. And then Ole Miss, who was so close to advancing to the Elite Eight. They've got a really good coach. Yes, he had a little trouble in Austin. Now he's resurfaced in Oxford, but man, he's got a heck of a team again. Now that they're winning, how about the Ole Miss collectives going on with football and basketball? Minus the 9.5 against Memphis. This should be a blowout tonight at the Pavilion in Oxford. Rebels minus 9.5. Like both games we got both games at Otterlocks that we placed on the website earlier today in the MAC, but one clearly I like a lot more than the other. Start off with Western Michigan. We cashed last week on the Ohio Bobcats. Remember that? The late touchdown for Ohio U. They cashed the ticket for us, but we're going to flip to the other side tonight at Western Michigan. A little tricky spot here for the Bobcats. Short price on the road. We take the Broncos at home. That kicks off at 7 o'clock. 30 minutes before, Kent State against Akron. We're going against Akron again, Matt. They blew us out last week. We're on them again. Kent State should provide much more resistance than last week's opponent for the Zips, and the line is going up. It was at 7. It's now 7.5 for Kent State.
Just to be clear, Western Michigan is the one that you like more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
1 minute remaining.
All right. So Western Michigan minus 1.5. Kent State plus 7. And actually, it's Kent State is plus. We like Kent State or Akron tonight?
The Kent State.
Okay, we like Kent State.
Dog.
Yeah, okay. We like Kent State, which is up to 7.5. And on the hardwood, 3 games: Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and Louisville. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We are at Iverstein Butcher, so
great spot.
Getting ready for a great lunch and also for the holiday cooking. So Iverstein Butcher's on Perkins, just off of Essen.
Awesome spot for lunch. All right, Otter, thank you.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you, man. We're brought to you by Rouse's. As we get on down the road, we'll remind you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Of course, Hester and Flynn there every Friday during football season. Great spot to get everything you need before Thanksgiving dinner or dinner any night. Of course, make your groceries with your mom and them. Been doing that for 65 years. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Muse Pauly, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
Yo, we're getting on down the road. Man, I'm really enjoying getting to talk to you every day about Arco Power Systems. You know, Arco Power Systems, industrial Generac standby power. You know, what does the loss of power mean for your business? Power goes out. What does that mean for your business? Only you can answer that. But Arco Power Systems make sure that your business stays online. They make sure the roads are working, the phones, dispatchers for 911. You know, life continues through an event, and they are the backbone at Arco Power Systems that supports our region when people are getting through a storm, a hurricane, an outage. They've literally had Blackhawks and National Guard pick up their guys to go to work. They work 24/7 during disasters. But they're generators that are built for businesses. At Arco, they like to say, our business is your business. So whatever business you run, you need generator power, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.